What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Footy Fetish podcast. This is with myself, Alfie Vincent, my man Ollie Greaves,
Yo.
and Mark Fox.
Hello.
Only three of us today. No Harry, no Bards. We're just doing, the three of us. I don't think either of them really wanted to talk about what we've got to talk about in today's podcast. So, but we're going to do it. This is the final. I think this is, maybe the penultimate. We might do like a Euros fantasy team or something, maybe. Or like not fantasy team of the tournament or something.
That'd be good. That'd be quite fun, actually.
We might do. You never know, depending on how because we've got the Premier League starts in like a month, so we've got to get ready for that, boys.
Jesus, back on it.
Meantime.
Exactly, but yeah. So I guess we should get into things. Euros final. We know how it all ended. England lost on penalties to Italy. Yeah, it was peak. I think the worst thing really ultimately is the scenes that went on after the game finished and everything, rather than the game itself. I don't know about you guys, I'm gutted, but I'm not it's not of old England where I was angry and disappointed. It's more of just the sad that they didn't get it over the hill, I guess, and for them more than us, because it was just such a fantastic team. And like I tweeted out straight after the game saying, regardless of the result, this England team's already given me two of the best summers of my life.
Yeah.
100%.
And we've got more to come, so fuck it, whatever. But yeah, guys,
it's coming home. It's coming home 2022, apparently.
We didn't specify when it was coming home, all right? But it is coming home.
It's coming home. It's coming home. We didn't say it was coming home now.
We might have been talking about the Euros, but
yeah. But I love that a lot of people from outside of England still don't get the whole it's coming home thing. And if they don't now, then they never will. But whatever. But yeah, guys, what did you make of the game?
well, obviously I was with you, Alf, watching it. It was the first half I thought was very motivating. How I felt in the first half compared to the second half was two polar opposites. It was like I was watching different games, really. And
remember much of it?
Huh?
I remember the Shaw goal, and I remember the Chiellini goal, and I remember the penalties, and that's it. Oh, the Chiellini goal, and that was it Bonucci or Chiellini? One of the two, I can't remember. Yeah, that's all I remember, but I just feel like I don't actually remember it.
We started drinking about 4 hours before the game.
Yeah, I was quite drunk, to be fair.
That's the thing about a late kickoff on a Sunday for a final. It's always like, by the time you actually start drinking, the game's like still 4 hours away. So, yeah. No, I think some of the moves or some of the tackles and stuff that they were making, like the Italians, were a bit suspect. Obviously, see the whole thing with Chiellini just pulling Saka's shirt back, or pulling, like, obviously the scruff of his neck, just yanking him back. And how on earth he wasn't sent off for that was a crazy sort of thing.
I don't think that was a yellow. I think it was a yellow. I don't think it was a red.
No, I thought technically last man, because he'd been beaten.
Yeah, but he wasn't through on goal,
and it wasn't violent.
Yeah,
I think it
was just a pull on a shirt, but it wasn't like
I think Jorginho should have been sent off for when he stamped on or whatever on Grealish.
Oh, that looked painful as well.
But I think the Chiellini thing should have been a yellow. But I understand why you say red, because it was fucking dodgy, man.
It was dirty. That's what it was.
There was quite a few little suspect manoeuvres from sort of the Italians that game, but see if it is what it is. I think it was just. I can't say that we played badly, because we didn't. It was just. I think it's more just the disappointment after sort of the whole build-up of the whole Euros, and it will get into that last final moment, and obviously some sort of questions are being asked at Southgate for his penalty tactics, but I think we all knew deep down that if it was going to go to penalties, we weren't going to win.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I felt anyway. I'm
not
I
massively agree.
No, I thought we were going to win until Rashford missed that penalty.
Oh, okay.
I thought until Rashford missed, I was like, yeah, we've got this. And then he missed it, and I was like,
Yeah. We missed our last three, didn't we?
Yeah, we missed. Yeah, so Rashford, Sancho, Bukayo. But yeah, it just sucks, man. I mean, I feel more for those three more than anyone else, really, because obviously the abuse and all the bullshit that they've been receiving after the game and everything. It's just disgusting. And I want to get your take on this, guys. Like, I was talking to some people at work about like what should happen off the back of this. And I do think next World Cup, and maybe even, it's tough because maybe you should ban England fans from going, but then also like it's not an England fan problem, it's a football problem. Because we can't pretend that it's just England fans that do this shit. We all know Italy is one of the worst places to play if you are not white. Like, let's call it what it is, right? You've got other kind, obviously, you know, we should we should always aim to hold ourselves in like a higher regard than these. You know, we should be better, but like we can't just pretend it's England fans. Like, unfortunately, it was England fans this time, but you know, fans from all across the world do this shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a football problem.
Last World Cup,
England problem.
Russia were nearly kicked out, and they were hosting the bloody thing.
Yeah,
because they
God,
were
Russia.
Russian mobs just beating out all the other teams' fans and stuff, and it was crazy. There was serious talks with FIFA as well about them actually getting kicked out of the World Cup, which I think ideally, well, in the end, they kind of came to the conclusion that if we kick Russia out of the World Cup, it's just going to get a whole lot worse because they've got nothing to lose, the fans. And obviously, it's not like they're now being threatened with something else. It's then just, right, well, you're out of the World Cup and that's it now. But so there's a lot of talk about England not being allowed to play at the World Cup and all that sort of stuff. In all honesty, it's a load of crap. We're not going to get banned from the World Cup because of what happened.
We probably won't get a World Cup here for a little while.
No, well, Seb Blatter's not there to bribe anymore, so who knows?
We probably won't get it to host anything, but I think the boys should still go. But if they were like, we're going to ban the England fans from going to Qatar World Cup, I mean, fine. One, who the hell wants to go to Qatar to watch? I mean, I'm one of the biggest football fans around, and I do not want to go to Qatar to watch England play.
My stepdad used to work there, and it's a mad country, like proper mad.
I don't know much about it, but I just can't be asked to go all the way over there and watch football. Like,
being in the Middle East, you can obviously sort of probably imagine some of the strict rules that they have.
of course,
But like something as simple as spitting on the road, like as you're walking down the road, lose your left arm or your left hand or whatever.
You're joking.
Honestly, mate, it is that serious over there. It's crazy.
What?
And obviously, the whole World Cup itself for 2022 has been the most mad scenario. That I think over 1,000 construction workers have died in the building of various stadiums and hospitality sort of arenas and stuff like that.
That's too many people.
Well, yeah, of course, and all these a lot of these construction workers that are over there have come from India or other sort of countries around Asia, and they've had their passports taken away from them upon arrival, and obviously they get the bare minimum in terms of wages, food, drink, and obviously they're working in like 40-50 degree heats during the summer. It's great, and that's why obviously the World Cup's being held in December, because it's far too hot over there in the summer. Like when my stepdad worked there, he had to take a taxi to work every day, and it was maybe 400 meters from his apartment, the office, 400 or 500 meters. Not far at all, but you had to get a taxi because you would just be, you start to feel dizzy, you'd start to like keel over, basically, because it's just so hot. And obviously, you being sort of someone that's English and going over there, you're not used to those sort of heat, so it's unbelievable. But yeah, it's a pretty crazy country in that sort of regard.
Why Qatar? Is this the World Cup? I've never really.
Money.
Is it literally like they're chosen out of luck of the draw, or is it?
No, they bribed Sepp Blatter, the old FIFA president. They bribed him, and he gave him the World Cup.
So it's not like random.
It's not speculation. That is fact. Like, we know that to be true. That's why he was sacked.
Oh, mate, they still got it. They still got the event.
Nothing you could do. It was all gone through after that. But you know,
that's the thing. It's been in the pipeline for the longest time. Like they announced
about the next World Cups for quite some time before they actually happened.
It's like 10 years.
One after this one's going to be Mexico, America, and Canada.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
It's like North America.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so back to but apart from that, I think we need to rally behind these boys. You know, these people, these disgusting scumbags that are attacking people online and in public. Need to be dealt with. And I've seen things about, you know, the ID situation with social media and stuff like that. You know, I think there's some kinks to be ironed out with it. Obviously, you know, I think it's just suggestions at this point, but I think it's a really good start. Being able to hold people accountable. I don't know if you know what it is, Mark. but it's like you'll have to have a photo. You'll have to have an ID.
Yeah, you verify.
photo with-
If you want to sign
have a
up, like
social media.
the tick,
Yeah.
like you get
Yeah,
the verification tick.
yeah.
You have to literally say,
Yeah.
"This is my ID.
Yeah.
Give me the tick." But instead
Yeah,
of
but
the
it's,
tick, it's you get an account.
just to even get the account as of like.
Which I think is great. Obviously, you need to start holding these people to account and start banning them, fining them.
What's pretty
whatever.
crazy though is the fact that obviously Katie Price essentially started this whole thing because of all the horrible trolling that was going on with son Harvey, and this has all been going on for months and months and months. And I think the petition had only got to like 75,000 to 100,000 people. And then as soon as obviously the whole thing with on Sunday happened, all the sort of horrible abuse that's been going on, it's now shot up to over 500,000 or something, or maybe even more than that now.
Well, I signed up to it and it was at 700,000, and then I shared it on Facebook. Obviously, I saw you, Mark, you shared that as well. And then when I went back onto it yesterday, I think it hit like 1.08 million or something.
Tell you what, guys. Give me a second. Keep talking. I'll get it back up.
Yeah,
And we'll see
so
what it's
I
at.
think it's good. We'll yeah, we need to.
It's getting some traction, but it's kind of obviously it's not really been brought to people's attention until something so high profile has happened. And yeah, it's just vital, man. It baffles me how someone can literally go from maybe half an hour before that happened, all these people were probably going, "Oh, come on, boys, look, we can do it," cheering every single one of them on. But as soon as those penalties happened, their mindset has just completely gone just 180, and they've just been obviously horrible sort of trolling, being racist, everything like that, death threats, everything. And
people.
yeah,
So
exactly. But
the
there's,
sorry to interrupt you there, Ollie. The
should be.
the petition's at 1,064,500.
Love
Yeah.
to see it. Love to see it. So yeah, we'll get. You know, I think more people and more will sign it and that kind of thing. And I saw Boris talking about it today. Ironically, Boris and Priti Patel been talking about it like they weren't the ones stoking the fire when it was taking the knee for Black Lives Matter and all that. But
What Tyrone Ming said.
yeah, I did. I rated it highly, and I love the fact that they also rejected the opportunity to go and meet Boris. I don't know if you guys knew about that, but
No,
yeah,
I
they
did not.
Yeah, they rejected it because it went, which is fantastic.
Ooh.
I think.
Jacob, hi Jacob.
Hello.
He's in the chat.
Big up.
But yeah, we just things looks like we're getting the ball rolling a bit more. Things are starting to really, hopefully, will really take shape, and we'll see some bannings. We'll see some maybe arrests, depending on what what
yeah,
people
just
have
seen
done.
today that apparently one of the guys that was sending Marcus Rashford some quite horrible
Oh,
things
yeah,
has been
I saw that.
arrested. So that's obviously
You
something.
must hate children if you hate Marcus Rashford. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can question his footballing ability, but to
Oh yeah.
to overstep that mark is.
I think
obviously-
Rashford's penalty was stupid. What he did,
Yeah.
his run up and everything, was so stupid. He should have just it was just the way everything. It was just stupid. But there's no need to go and abuse the man.
It's
for
not
God's
relevant,
sake.
is it?
I think
No,
he's the
exactly.
first one to know that his penalty was fucking shit.
As soon as he hit that ball.
Do you know what I mean? And it's not. We don't need to abuse him for it, man. He's gonna learn, and I feel confident that next time England are in a penalty shootout, mate, Iz is going top bins, and we're winning whatever game it is. I'm confident about that. And yeah, I just think that this is. It's a bad. It sucks, but it's only a good thing really for the boys that are playing, because now they have that final experience. Now they know what it takes. Gareth now knows what it takes. Like it's not only the lads' first time being in a final. It's Gareth's first time being in a final. We'll learn from this. We'll move on, and it's coming home in 2022 when we win the World Cup in Qatar. And Bukayo Saka will score the winning goal in that, I imagine.
Jacob's made a nice point. Some of the hate doesn't even feel genuine now, like people are just jumping on the bandwagon. Which unfortunately I think there's an element of truth there.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely.
I mean,
well, you see everyone the next morning or whatever when obviously it all massively kicked off in the press and everything about obviously all this abuse and everything. You then see everyone on any social media was posting about obviously we're in solidarity with all the players and everything like that, and it was everywhere. But how many of those people, maybe not people on my personal social media, but how many of these people that were posting about it saying how horrible it is were the ones that were doing it?
No,
were the ones that
the
were.
hypocrisy that runs through society is outrageous. But like, that's just a weird one, isn't it? Like, I don't really know what we're gonna do. But I mean, people obviously say a lot of the times with this situation is like, people, we should take the high road and not wish ill on these people and all this kind of stuff. Try and although we don't accept what they've done and all this kind of thing, you should be caring and show them love. That's how you beat hate and all that kind of stuff. Nah, fuck that, bruv. I hope people that are involved in this, they lose their job. If they, get found on camera, I hope they lose their jobs. I hope their world crumbles around them because they don't deserve shit.
Well, the way I see it is,
enough of being.
Imagine if someone was in public making these racist remarks to someone's face, they'd get arrested for hate speech, and they would get faced.
That's probably the best thing that would happen to them.
Yeah,
depending on where they were,
exactly. But I'm saying authorities would just arrest them. Obviously, the action would happen because they're in public. Obviously, the difference here is that they're not in public per se. It's done.
That's why they do it. That's why they're called.
There shouldn't be any difference.
Trolls.
But there shouldn't be any difference when it's.
No, of course. And that's where we're trying to get to. I think that's where we have to figure out, because it's so hard to police social media when people can hide behind fake accounts.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
By this whole
verification thing.
I saw also Boris said that the social media companies, or like the companies that run these social media sites, if they fail to remove harmful content, they can be sued up to 10% of their annual gross. So whatever money they make in a year, they can be sued 10% of that if they are found not removing
a lot of money,
which is a lot of money when it comes to Facebook and Twitter and that. They bring it, they rake in
Instagram, all of that sort of stuff. So what's funny though is, however, like if you mention coronavirus or COVID, or you type it on an Instagram story or whatever, there's that little banner that pops up at the bottom of your story that says, obviously, for the latest coronavirus news, or whatever it says, something about coronavirus facts, and whatever people are saying might not be 100%, like click here on this link to find out all the actual news or whatever it may be. If they can do that for COVID, why can't they implement something like that for obviously all this trolling, all this racism and stuff like that?
They definitely can. It's just,
you can choose specific words or whatever. Obviously, I know specific words can be used in other contexts, but obviously there could be other words that are never used in other contexts. So like words that are just racist, that you have to just sort of ban. There's something that needs to pop up to either instantly ban the person, remove the comment, remove the story, whatever it may be. There's algorithms and there's technology to do that, and they're not doing enough at the moment.
100%. But hopefully, like we say, and hopefully this gets the ball rolling. It's time for change. It really is time for change. We've been saying it. It feels like we've been saying this fucking like 20 odd years. Ever since I've been born, it feels like race. Obviously, even before that, race has been a big issue. And yeah, I mean, it's got to be done, man. We're in a time now where things can be done. I think
time and time again, especially in regards to football, all the fans have made change. Imagine the Super League that barely lasted in English football. That barely lasted 2 days because everyone spoke against it. Obviously, it's a slightly different issue.
All these people put back race, wouldn't it?
Imagine if everyone actually decided to back. It looks like with sort of petitions and things, it looks like that's happening. But no, like people just need to be so vocal about it to clubs and stuff that they're forced to have change, because they were forced to come out of the Super League because everyone was like, we're going to boycott the club unless you come out of this Super League. Yeah. And then
I am interested in why, like, it's England though. Like when it's England that's done it and all this kind of stuff, why it's just gone from like up here. But when all these other countries that do it all the time,
it's just the norm for them,
get away with it. And it's like, but even like, Italy, Spain, all these countries, they have their problems and they do it too. We know, obviously, I don't want to keep harping up about Italy. It's easy to when they've just beaten us, but they're just a great example.
They are
of how
it's unfortunate, but they are
of how like hypocritical the players and everyone in that team are, and everyone, like, do you know what I mean? Like they're looking at us through this lens of like, racist bastards, all this kind of shit, and it's like all their fans are racist, all that kind of thing. But mate, they are just bad, if not worse.
And just before we move on from that, Jacob also said, I reported someone for saying the N-word. Instagram came back to me and said it didn't breach community guidelines. That's the issue.
Jesus.
I mean, if anyone's dropping the N-bomb like that, I feel like there has to be like a human element to looking into that, because that word does get thrown about in different meanings by different cultures.
I can imagine though
So
what
you've
Jacob's
got,
saying here is not someone that is from
yeah, you won't report
socially
certain
acceptable to
uses
say
of
the
the
word.
word. Yeah, you won't report someone who you would say the word and it'd be fine, but you would report someone who has said that and really should not be.
Yeah, of course.
Of
But
course,
yeah,
which is the right
I
thing to
mean,
do, everyone.
should we? I mean, it is always this is important to talk about and all this kind of stuff, obviously, and we've been talking about it for like the last 20 minutes. But I think
It's important.
this is not what it's important. But let's get back into football stuff, shall we? That's why we're here.
What we do, slightly on the same topic, but slightly off. Obviously, Alf probably knows about this. Lando Norris is an F1 driver, young
Yeah, I
English
wasn't going to
guy.
mention it, weren't really, but yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, he was at the game. He was obviously he drives for McLaren. There's various partnership deals, everything like that. And yeah, he was mugged after the game. He was wearing a £40,000 Richard Mille watch, and he was getting into his McLaren at the time. And yeah, he was robbed and yeah, mugged, and even just people that have nothing to do with football and literally just attending the game and looking to go home again, and they're getting mugged. It's just mad. It's crazy, and a lot of the stuff.
That was the whole thing, though. That was literally it. Worked like obviously it was just normal people. I
Yeah.
mean, they had something to do with the football, but Lando. It wasn't like Lando weren't at the football. He was at the football. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm not because no one should be mugged or anything like that, obviously. But yeah, like, I mean, everyone in that situation, everyone that was a victim in that situation is all in the same boat, and it's just unnecessary and just bullshit. Basically, it's just fucked. But let's get on to football, man. I don't want to talk about this shit anymore. It's fucking depressing. So yeah, we'll talk about England games done. Whatever, we lost. The boys, we love you still, and all that.
This time next year.
It's coming on.
But let's get into transfer news. So, I mean, there's quite a bit going on, but there's also not that. It's mainly speculation and shit at the moment. Still, I think over the next couple of weeks, as teams are back, players are back with teams and all that kind of shit, we'll see more signings. But we'll just get through a couple. Obviously, some Man United news. Obviously, as we all know, Jadon Sancho was signed, but it is now set to be confirmed and officially announced with their new shirt. I think it's going to happen on Friday.
Oh.
So yeah, it should be interesting to see that. It would be great to see him in a shirt. I'm just looking forward to seeing him come through.
In the
and
Premier
play.
League, yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I feel like it sucks because when this initially goes on, there's so much you want to talk about, but this has been dragged out for so long now that I feel like I've exhausted my Jadon Sancho talk with Man United, and it's just like, well, he's signed or he's not signed, but he's signing, and it's going to be he's signed and it's going to be confirmed. But a bit more interesting news is they've held positive talks with Real Madrid over the signing of Rafael Varane. They've spoken to his camp. Nothing has been agreed yet, but it's apparently personal problems are not expected to be a thing. That was by Sky Sports, which would be quality. Maguire and Varane as a better centre-back duo, with Luke Shaw on the left and Wan-Bissaka on the right back. That's a bit of a mad defensive unit, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't lie. That's going to be difficult to get past.
Yeah, that's a quick backline as well. Them two.
Yeah.
Dean Henderson's recently just said that he now believes that Harry Maguire's in the same category as Van Dijk, which I thought was an interesting statement.
In an England shirt.
If you look at how he played, well, I mean, also have to count into the fact how he played the Man United shirt last season. Probably one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the league last year. I don't want to say out of context, but they're definitely up there.
Yeah. Well, they didn't get second for conceding all the goals, did they? They definitely put in a shift, Man United.
Yeah, and I mean, if we look at how he played in the Euros,
phenomenal.
I don't see many centre backs out there that are better, and definitely, if we're going to go off that, Ruben Diaz, Maguire's better than Ruben Diaz. If we're going to go,
if we're going to get off the Euros, yeah, definitely.
Sure.
I'm interested to see how Harry Maguire does this year. Even if he is, alongside Varane, that'll be a pretty mad partnership. See how he kicks on.
Yeah, it will be. I think.
Is it Lindelof next to Maguire at the moment?
Or Bailly?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, Varane's needed.
I mean, yeah, but like Varane was covering a lot of mistakes that Ramos was making, and having to cover a lot of balls that Ramos was making. Obviously, he hasn't got the legs in him anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how Varane is when he doesn't have to do that kind of thing, because he's got Harry Maguire, who is one of the fitter centre backs out there that can get
very
forward
physical.
And get back. Yeah, so I think it'd be great if they could get Sancho Varane, and then like Camavinga over the line, United are going to push for this. They maybe not push for the title, but they'll be in the battle.
They'll be a challenger for easily.
For sure. But yeah, and then also just a little last thing is West Ham were looking into Lingard, but United have priced him at 30 million, which is just too much. Oh, and sorry, yeah, United and Spurs are also interested in Argentina defender Christian Romero. I don't know much about him. He's on loan to Atalanta from Juventus. And he's in the middle of a 2-year loan, so I don't think that they're going to get that deal going because obviously he's on loan at another club. Yeah, I mean, let's go to the Lingard thing real quick because that's a bit. I don't know much about Christian Romero. I don't suppose either of you two do as either.
When I read the notes at first, I thought it said Cristiano Ronaldo, and it was just my dyslexia coming in.
But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Atalanta are a very good team, and if he's a starting player for Atalanta, I would be very interested in him. But yeah, Lingard to 30 million, guys. Just thoughts on that before we move on from United.
I mean, well, how old is he now? Do we know?
He's
30s. He's had one. Let's be honest. He's had one good season.
I don't want to say that he's had one good season because I do feel like
28.
He's been playing very well. Like he has played very well over a few seasons.
Yeah, well, he did get sniped up for a reason, but in my immediate knowledge, in my eyes, in the world of football, he's had one actually really good.
2014, 2015 was like the Jesse Lingard's years. When he was starting regularly for United and all that kind of stuff.
He did.
Was still a pretty young gun.
He did score the winner in the FA Cup.
But it's one thing to dip for 1, maybe 2 years and pull yourself back. But for like 5, of course he's probably had personal problems, but football only, to dip for like 5 years is quite big.
Yeah.
And then to come back and have one good season doesn't mean... I mean, obviously Lingardinho is a bit of a meme and probably has been hyped up a bit more. He has done really well, but yeah, I think 30 mil is a bit too much.
I think I can definitely see him going for 30 mil.
Yeah, me too.
It is just
25.
30 mil is just going, like we've said previously, going from an English club to an English club, Premier League to Premier League. Obviously, there is a bit of a premium that's added. Obviously, maybe in previous years they might have been able to get him for a little bit sort of less, but West Ham were finished pretty close to United last year, all things considering. So they're probably not wanting to just offload him for sort of too cheap. Obviously, United, it's not like they're desperate for money or anything like that. And
but they know West Ham want him. That's the big difference there.
They're in the hot seat there. They've got advantage and that sort of thing.
To be honest.
But obviously, yeah, he had a good season with West Ham. He's clearly sort of improved his mental state as well. You can see it on the pitch. He looks a lot happier. But it just depends on if West Ham are willing to sort of cough it up, really. I wouldn't say it would be a crazy amount for him to go for. Maybe in January, before he went to West Ham, everyone would have been like, oh my God, like 30 mil, are you sure? But I think in the half season that he had, I don't think it's a stupid amount or a crazy amount.
It just depends on the club, I think. Because I would love Jesse Lingard at Palace, but I would hate it if Palace spent 30 million on Jesse Lingard because we don't spend that kind of money. So if West Ham was spend 30 million on Jesse Lingard, then I get it. They spent 25 on Ben Rama, and he has done fuck all. So they could get a player like Lingard in, and he would do more than that already, and it's only 5 million more than what he paid. So for someone like them or Everton, I'm saying I could definitely see them paying 30 million, and I think that is a fair valuation for him. Basically, I think it just depends on the club. But yeah, I hope he gets a move because I think he does. I think that is what is best. Just get out of United, man. Go build a legacy somewhere else for the end of your career, and see if you can get back in the England team, man. Because he was very close, I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
In this Euros, so you never know. It could happen. But Chelsea, they're moving mad.
Standard.
Planning to sign Griezmann on loan from Barcelona. Now, obviously, we know Barcelona. We spoke about it on the podcast last time. Barcelona are going through a big controversy and dispute with their budget. Well, I guess it's with their wages, and they've got to clear off 200 million euros worth of wages and all this stuff. And so they are opening the door to a lot of players to leave. And I think this will be. I don't know how it works with the loan. I guess in there would have to give well, Chelsea would have to pay the majority, if not all, of his wages to bring him on
Yeah,
loan.
there's something that's obviously worked out when they do the deal. They'll say, okay, well, we'll do a 50-50 split or 60-40, whatever it may be. And obviously, Barca will be looking to pay as little wages as possible to try and obviously reduce this massive sort of debt that's sort of hanging over them there.
They're going to need Chelsea to take the full loan, like to take the full wage thing, because
if they do that,
get rid of to do that, to be like, oh, we'll still pay a bit. They're going to have to, because I don't even know if they have enough players to clear the 200 million, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing, that they'll do that, and then they'll have to say, they'll put some sort of clause in there to say Chelsea will be like, okay, well, we want, if we're having to pay all of his wages, we will then want X to happen at the end of the loan spell or during the loan spell, whatever. Yeah, okay, well, we want a guaranteed deal of this amount, or we're an option to buy, or whatever it may be. Something will then have to go in Chelsea's favour if they were going to have to agree to paying 100% of his wages.
Yeah.
And so not only man like Griezmann they're trying to get, they are still pushing for Haaland. They have been told it's basically mission impossible at this point. Next season is Haaland's year because they lost Sancho, because Dortmund lost Sancho this year. They're not willing to lose both in the same window. Smart business, makes sense, completely fair enough, Dortmund. Although they will lose a significant amount of money because he has a £60 million release clause in his contract next summer.
Oh my God. Would you not
get 150 for him now?
Would you maybe just get rid of him in Jan just to try and get something? But then a lot of teams will be like, nah, we'll wait until summer and we're snapping him up for 60 mil.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think he'll be left to next year. I also don't think Kane's going to City now. I think that'll be next year. I don't think any big strikers will be moving this summer, really. I think it'll be next year. I think next year will be big because we'll be a year out of COVID, hopefully, fingers crossed. And World Cup. Hopefully move on. Yeah, we've got the World Cup. We can move on.
I got the World Cup.
As much as I hate teams spending cash big because it ruins football, I kind of miss teams spending cash big because it's fun and it's entertaining. You know what I mean? To watch these move for crazy amounts of money. It's nuts.
It's not just seeing the same class players playing for the same teams every week.
Yeah, but
whatever it may be.
Yeah, and the last Chelsea point, which is interesting, is obviously we saw they offered 85 million for Chiesa, which I don't really get how that worked out because he's not a Juventus player. He plays for Juventus right now, but he's on loan from Fiorentina, so I don't understand how they've offered Juventus 85 million for Chiesa. I'm calling cap on it, but you never know. But they've said, I don't get it because he's on loan from Fiorentina. He's not a Juventus player, but they're being like, we're not willing to sell him and all this stuff. It's like, okay, whatever. He's not yours to sell. But Chiesa, obviously he's going to be, he'll be at a big club very soon. Obviously he's at Juventus, but like permanent wise, he will be at a big club very soon. What a baller he is. 85 million though. That's a lot of money for a player that did play well in the Euros. Don't get me wrong, he played very well. But he did okay last season, but that's been about it.
I think a lot of people probably didn't hear much of Chiesa before the Euros.
I'm going to put it out there. I never heard of the guy until the Euros.
Yeah, I didn't know much about him, but I'd heard of him. I can't say I knew much in terms of how well he played and if he was any good. But I knew the player, I knew the name, I knew it would have been good enough, but I wasn't quite aware of his sort of potential. Obviously, watching him as much as the Euros.
I only knew him because I kept up with the Serie A last year because Inter Milan were going to win it, and I was like interested in that. So apart from that, though, I didn't know he was going to be this good. But I just knew his name and knew that he was an all right baller. But he's much more than that. But Ollie, your team, mate, looking to sign Ruben Neves for 35 million. What do you make of that? I think fair enough.
I'm not gonna lie, 35 mil is not too bad. It's not crazy amounts. If he doesn't work out, I won't be mad at 35 mil. We've spent bigger on worse players. So I'm willing to try anything at the moment. Get anyone in. Anyone.
100%, but I like it. I think Ruben Neves would be a good Arsenal player.
I think he would fit, in all honesty, though.
I'm assuming you play him in the deeper two with Partey. I'm imagining that's where he's
I'd assume so. Especially if they're looking to get rid of like Xhaka, probably El Neni.
I really want Xhaka. I wanted Xhaka to out of the Premier League, but now that this Amazon doc is happening, I want Xhaka to stay at Arsenal for the rest of his career. Not joking. I think it'd be amazing. Great TV. But yeah, Ruben Neves, I think is great. I think that is, if that goes through, I think that is a sign that Xhaka, maybe a Torreira or something like that is going to be out the exit door. I think probably both should be yet, regardless of if you sign anyone. But I mean, you do need to cover them, obviously. Yeah, Willock, you want to keep Joe Willock, but apparently, well, obviously, I don't know how true this is. It was on 90 mins. Obviously, you got all know 90 mins. Yeah, he's told the Gunners hierarchy that he wants to leave and return to Newcastle, which is fair enough.
I think that's what I said in the last podcast. I think if we were to actually play him, then fair enough, we should keep him. But for someone that's sort of quite young, had a decent enough spell at Newcastle, why not? Just if we're not going to play him, let him go. Let him develop as a young player. Even if it is to Newcastle, he might not do maybe as much as people think, but just let him go. Cut the strings. Let him be. Just let him develop as a player, man.
Like that at Arsenal right now. Where it's just like,
Oh yeah,
just let him
definitely.
go, man. What's the point?
Yeah, there's a few players, but yeah, some of them just take longer to kick in than others, and yeah, it is what it is.
I can understand it why he wants to go. He was great for Newcastle last year when he got there.
I'd happily see him stay, but only if he's actually going to get sort of enough minutes. But equally, yeah, if he's not going to be guaranteed those minutes, then let him go.
Yeah. If Smith Rowe's getting minutes.
Oh, we have had a follow. Nithin 2004 is now following. Thanks for the follow, man.
Love that.
Love that. Good stuff. We are now at 46. We're 92% to our goal, guys. 92%.
Thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far.
More followers.
You've absolutely smashed it, and we love each and every one of you.
Feel free to drop a comment, Nithin. Say hi. Welcome to the channel, whatever you want.
Yeah, welcome. Drop us comments. Let us know what you want to talk about. If you've got any questions, drop them in the box. Mark will read them out for you.
Exactly.
But probably the best Arsenal news.
And Jacob subscribed. Or followed. Oh, 2-1, 2-1. I don't think he realised he wasn't following.
Jacob, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that
Mo Farah signed you.
But thanks again for the follow, though.
Episodes.
Thanks for the follow, brother. But yeah, you should have been following before this time. No, I'm just
Did you put the follower thing over my face?
No. Yeah, I did. Well, I'm put it over one of our faces. I'll move it now.
No, just keep it up permanently. That'd be quality. Yeah, so the best Arsenal news, sorry, is I don't know if anyone saw it, but Arsenal had a pre-season game against Hibs, and they lost 2-1, and the first goal was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life. The keeper,
quality goalkeeping.
Kid, talk through it, bruv. It was hilarious.
Well, I know about him. He's literally just signed a senior contract with Arsenal, maybe a week or so ago. He's been gone through the Highland Academy. Loads of stuff like that, and yeah, he played the first half, made a horrendous mistake. We went 1-0 down, then we went 2-0 down, and then Emil Smith Rowe scored, and we ended up losing 2-1. But still, pre-season I don't really give a fuck about, if I'm being completely honest. We put out a pretty meh team. There's a lot of youngsters that played. Most of the players came off at half time and were replaced by even more youngsters. I think Hibs played a slightly stronger team. I think it was more of their first team than we probably put out. I did have a look at their team earlier, and I recognised only a couple of their players, and I kind of thought about it. I don't know many of their players anyway, so it is what it is. But yeah, I'm not really bothered about pre-season. Obviously, it's funny, Arsenal losing to Hibs. It is what it is. It's classic Arsenal. Would we have started the season any other way?
What a way to do it! Like the first game after it's announced to the world that you're going to be, the new focus of the Amazon All or Nothing documentary. The Man City one was electric. The Tottenham one was so much entertainment, and now they've only gone and ramped it up higher by saying, you know what, fuck it.
In all honesty, it's quality marketing and everything from Amazon. Horrendous from Arsenal. I don't know what we were thinking, unless we've got some mad cards up our sleeve that's just going to make us, but we're just going to play the sympathy card the whole season. It's like, please.
I don't want to stick on Arsenal for ages because we could talk about this for fucking days. But I was watching a guy talk about some football on YouTube earlier. He was a bit old, and I think he's in his mid-30s, right? So he knows Arsenal from back in the day as well, right, when they were good.
Sorry, hang on.
And yeah, and he was saying like this for me, them doing this Amazon doc was a nail in the coffin for me that the old Arsenal is gone, and it's not coming back anytime soon, because it was like he was just saying like the class, all the esteem around Arsenal back in the day, the big marble halls and all this kind of stuff. You'd never catch them dead doing anything like this, and now, it's just a fall from grace, and it is sad to see, man, because I do remember Arsenal and how much respect you'd have for Arsenal. I know, Mark, you'd be the same. How much respect you had for Arsenal back in the day when we were kids, and how
big team, big names
they were, and how scared of them you were. And now it's like, I love playing Arsenal, man. Like it's
chance to win a game.
We can win 3 points. Something funny might happen. Like
that's right. We beat you both times last season, I think.
Once we drew.
Oh well.
But then before I think it was before that you hadn't beaten us in 3 seasons. But yeah.
No, we had beaten. I don't think you'd beaten us 1 game in every season. I'm not sure if we hadn't beaten you before.
The game you beat us this season, the last game, the second game of our season, the second leg of our 2 fixtures in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You hadn't beaten us since 2018 in the Premier League.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. But,
oh, mate. All right, you two talk. I'll get it up. Go ahead.
That's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're doing the transfers, new mate. What are we going to talk about?
I'll look it up instead, mate. I'll look it up instead. No, you've never beaten us, actually.
Anyway, I've got the notes up here. I could just move on, actually.
Yeah, go.
You do you.
Liverpool prepared to
Liverpool
pay.
next
Yeah.
as
Oh
well.
wow,
There
what
you go.
timing! Liverpool to pay big money.
Sorry.
God's
Here we go.
sake.
So yeah. So we got January 20th, 2018, Arsenal versus Palace. Arsenal won 4-1. Then 28th of October 2018, Arsenal versus Palace, we drew 2-2. 21st of April 2019, Arsenal versus Palace, we won 3-2. 27th of October 2019, Arsenal versus Palace, we drew 2-2. 11th of January 2020, Crystal Palace versus Arsenal, we drew 1-1. 14th of January 2021, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace, we drew 0-0. May 19th 2021, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace, you won 3-1.
Okay, so it was 2 seasons, or 2.5 seasons, yeah.
Since 2018.
2.5 seasons, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, since 2018. But Liverpool, Nicolo Barella, mate, 60 million.
Oh wow, big money.
Quality.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I know a lot about him. I just know much from obviously playing for Italy, which he did very well.
Yeah, he's a good player. Inter Milan won the Serie A with Inter Milan.
Yeah. Well, won the Euros as well. So
won the Euros of Italy, was a big part of the team.
But this goes back to me seeing, okay, Klopp's going for this, would pay big money. That's fine. I trust Klopp. That's calm.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Wijnaldum replacement, and if you're going to replace Wijnaldum, you have to pay big.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
No, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, that's something I would like to see happen, because we do need a big replacement there, a big money replacement as well.
Yeah, it's a quality baller.
Yeah, I think he would fit quite well into the Liverpool squad as well. In that mid, I think it would be quite nice to see him. I don't know. Is he more of like a central holding midfielder, or is he more of a central attacking?
I think he'd go forward and back. I don't think
Nice.
he's much of a DM. Like you wouldn't want to put, but you got Fabinho, so it don't matter.
Exactly.
Um,
Because I think Thiago is that attacking nature. So
he
I
could
would
sit in the middle and just
do what
ping
he wants.
passes and stuff like that, and then get on the edge of the box and put a goal in if needs be, all that kind of
Nice.
stuff. So yeah, it's
I'd like to see that happen. I really would.
I
That'd
think
be
it'd
nice.
be great.
Yeah,
I think it'd be
definitely.
Yeah, I mean that's it, I guess, really, in terms of what you need. Like maybe another centre forward striker to replace Firmino, essentially. But
I know we have
you don't need to replace him, so
we might have a right back issue, but then that's because
yeah, our Trent is pretty shit.
no, it's not that Trent shit. We don't have like a backup. If you get if he gets injured.
Turkish Donny or whatever.
Oh, Tsimikas. I mean, he's a flop. Let's be honest.
Has he played?
I forgot you bought
Exactly. He's not done anything. Like I haven't heard anything about him. We've got him, and I've never seen him play.
Every Liverpool signing of last year, they did fuck all.
Thiago?
Yeah, Thiago did all right, but yeah.
But other than that,
I still probably class Thiago as a bit of a flop.
I think he just had a hard time settling. I think the later end of the season, he was smashing that.
Yeah,
he was dominating that mid. But
I think he flopped because he didn't exactly play badly.
He didn't. No, it's just the level
He wasn't playing at
needed.
his usual level.
No,
Though.
not at all. I just think that was new team, new nature. Figure out what's going on, and off he goes. But yeah,
it's hard to continue the form you are when you're playing at Bayern Munich to any other club, regardless of where you go, because that's league and everything's so set up for them to just dominate it. They can do whatever they want. So,
Gomez has returned to training.
Joe Gomez,
First time in 8 months.
I'm defensively. I'm so confident now. We've Van Dijk, Gomez back, and Konate, and Nat Phillips is nice and developed.
Is Van Dijk back in training? I've not seen he's back in training. I've seen Gomez is back in training. But...
I've seen loads of videos of Van Dijk. I'm not sure if it's specifically training. Obviously, I've seen him back doing a lot of fitness stuff at the moment, but I don't know if he's back with the first team training.
He might not be in first team training, but he's obviously doing a lot of rehab. And
that might be the reason.
How long's he had out?
I know he's had way more than time. I just haven't seen anything specifically. However, that might be the reason why we've got Ibrahim in the team as well.
Yeah.
So I think defensively, I think we'd be.
Well, imagine if Van Dijk is shit now.
That's literally what I said in the last podcast.
If he gets his injury and now he's just shit, like there's no that's it, and then Liverpool just shit again now. They're not title winners anymore.
I love that.
Yeah.
Some of the hate of Arsenal.
Yeah.
I would not love that.
Oh man, if the spotlight wasn't on Arsenal before next season, it's gonna be what we talk about every fucking week.
All right, so let's see what this documentary is going to be covering.
Oh mate, it's gonna be quality. Arteta's getting sacked. He's getting sacked.
I'm not 100% sure if he'll make it through. Well, this is his make or break season. He will be sacked this season if it's not going well. Last season, I think you could give him the benefit of the doubt. It was his first proper full season. I think this season's literally, he doesn't perform, he's out.
Yeah,
100%.
Definitely, it's got to be that way. All right, let's speed through these last ones because we've only got 12 minutes before we have to leave. La Liga, they've reduced their wage budget, which means, for Real Madrid specifically, which means that now Real Madrid are going to have to sack off a load of their high-earning players. I think the La Liga is sort of just, I think they've been exposed. I mean, we've known it all along that the whole league is like guarantees Barcelona and Real Madrid to be the top two teams in the league every fucking season. Atletico have obviously recently come in and made a mess of that. I think La Liga are trying to rake that back a bit, maybe get a bit more parity between them and the rest of the league. But yeah, so it looks like obviously we talk about Varane, whatever. He's looking like he's going to be going to Man United potentially. Look like they're going to be getting rid of Isco, Marcelo, Diaz, and Erdegaard and more. In order to be able to clear wages and probably sign Mbappe, I imagine is where they're going to go with that.
Wow.
But yeah,
Have you heard about the recent audio leak that's happened about Florentino Perez?
No, it doesn't surprise me though.
So he called Raúl and Casillas the two greatest scams of Real Madrid. He called Ronaldo an imbecile. And he called Jose Mourinho abnormal. It's all just been leaked in this some sort of audio thing, which is kind of mad. He's just been on a mad one the last couple of months, Perez. He's just bitter about everything that's happened.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, he's not said anything there that's like offensive or anything. I don't really, or like, there's nothing out of there that you got.
Raúl and Casillas being called the two biggest scams of Real Madrid.
But that's not like that's just like, well, you're fucking chatting shit, lad. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? He hasn't said anything that just makes me go, oh, fucking hell. But
it's not like he's dropping C-bombs on him, but like, still.
Yeah, we've had so Zach Football is in the
Hello,
group. Hello. He said I'm in self-isolation. So gonna be binge watching. Love the content. Brilliant. That's what we love to hear, mate. We did recently look at your stuff as well. We heard you were doing a little football thing as well, but unfortunately self-isolating sounds like it's going to get in the way of that. So we are happy to fill in for all of your football content.
Your training going, lad.
Nice.
I watched some of your video the other day. You knew one that you dropped about you becoming the best.
Best of the best of the best, sir.
Exactly. Keep going.
Maybe we'll be talking about you in transfer roundups someday soon. You never know, mate.
Yeah. Give it 5
In other
years.
news, Zach Football's on a transfer to Real Madrid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Moving on from Real Madrid because, like, they're just the shit show that they are. Let's get to the other Spanish shit show. Barcelona. Obviously, we were talking about the situation with them, but they have agreed a new 5-year deal with their king, Lionel Messi.
Oh.
He has agreed to half his 500k a week wages in order to stay with the club, because obviously their wage situation is
Are they
horrendous.
halving it to 500,000, or was it already at 500,000?
No,
It
it was
wouldn't have been
already at
surprised me.
It was already
Oh,
at 500,000, and
I
now.
was gonna say it wouldn't have surprised me if he was earning £1 million a week.
Oh yeah. But,
And then they're just 52 mil a year. Mad.
yeah, obviously, like we know, they're going to get they're shipping off a load of young players. I've seen recently that Everton are eyeing up a move for Clement Longley, which I think would be an incredible signing for them. It'd be insane. Like he's a very good young player, but like you said, he's just not good enough to warrant keeping with their current financial situation and how much he earns and all that. But yeah, Marseille are the closest team to signing Coutinho, which is just a fall from grace, isn't it? Bloody hell. But yeah, I've heard that they've had an offer. I don't know how true that is, but they are waiting on teams like Leicester and Arsenal to come forward with a bid, of which I imagine they will be expecting more money than what Marseille are offering. I could definitely see Arsenal doing it. I can't see Leicester going for it, but I think I could definitely see Arsenal offering like a
I
low
just
ball.
link with him every year, man. The
Yeah.
last couple of years. If we can get him for dirt cheap, why not? But if we're just gonna have to pay more than we probably should, I don't see the point.
No. Yeah, I don't really. It would just be very Arsenal, which would be why it'd be great to see it happen, I suppose.
And
But,
next we'll be going for Zaha as well.
Yeah. You'd be paying like somehow 45. We'll get 45. But
He'll pay you 145 for some reason.
yeah, you'll give us 45 and like I don't know, Saka. We'll take it.
45 mil over the next 45 years.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I forget. But yeah, Everton. Like I was just talking about Everton. Obviously, yeah, Longley. They somehow it looks like they've won the race. Won the race. Won the race. Fucking hell. For Denzel Dumfries. The Netherlands wingback that was tearing it up at the Euros. Yeah. They looks like they're going to be signing him for like 20 million euros, which is crazy.
Nice.
So if Everton could do that, then that's a madness. Fair play to them. Yeah, I mean PSG, not really much to say. They are about to announce the signing of Donnarumma, which is crazy that he's gone to PSG.
Ramos has just come out and said that all great players should go to should go to Real Madrid, but not Mbappe, not yet.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
He's speaking facts. He's speaking facts.
Yeah. He thinks that Mbappe should give it another couple of years before going to Madrid. Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. PSG, all these moves they've made, and they still ain't going to win the Champions League. They just won't. They don't have that grit. They're not that kind of team. Do you know what I mean?
It's because
they're not a team that has to work for stuff.
No, that's the Farmers League problem.
The last few seasons, if you look at the Champions League winners, they've all been teams that are gritty and had to fight and like tooth and nail and get in the mud, and that, like Chelsea, your Liverpool's, even before that Real Madrid, they had to get in the mud to beat that Liverpool team. Do you know what I mean? They had to get dirty. They had to really do it, and that's how you win it. You don't win it by being all fancy and like, oh, I'm just gonna run down the pitch with Mbappe and put it. It don't work, bro. You got to have a bit of grit about you, and maybe that's what they're doing, trying to bring in your Ramoses, your Donnarummas, your Wijnaldums that have been there. But the culture at PSG is just not right. Do you know what I mean? It's just they immediately think they're the best, and it's like you ain't, lad.
I know you've got to have confidence. You've got to believe in yourself to be able to sort of be the best. But when you've not really got any other competition, sort of bigging yourself up even more just makes you just look really arrogant and quite stupid, really.
Yeah, and they lost out on the French league this year to teams that have nowhere near as many resources as they do. They're a joke of a team, and they always will be. They'll never have my respect. I'm not gonna lie.
The only good thing I like about PSG is the fact that they've got that
banging.
Yeah, they've got the sponsorship deal with Jordan, and so their kits are nice, and that's enough.
Banging.
So just before we move on, we've had a couple more comments from Zach. Where'd you get the background from? It's just a video I found online. It's on loop. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah. He said he's also going to make videos like ours. We've been a bit of an inspiration for him. So I'm glad we can help you out, figure out some sort of format if that's
man.
it's kind of
Do your
chaos. It's kind of chaotic for us, but if we seem organised, and that's this man up here, Alfie, I'm pointing towards you, doing a bit of organisation for us every week, and me and Ollie are more background people. We'll just do other stuff.
Alf does the prep.
Alf does the prep.
Me
We
and Mark
do
do the
post production.
post.
It's good teamwork, to be fair. Just one more. What do you think of Nuno Tavares signing for Arsenal and Arsenal's performance last night? I don't think you were in the podcast a little bit earlier.
Touched on it.
We did touch on it.
Hilariously horrendous, basically, and hopefully more to come. Ollie, please speak on your new man.
Yeah, can't say I know sort of too much about him really, but he should be good. Just obviously providing competition for Tierney. I'm not sure if he's going to start too much. Obviously, I know Tierney's had a couple of injury issues over the last sort of 12 or so months. So
Maybe he moves
if he
to right
does,
centre back. Or
sorry,
maybe he moves to left centre back if you're playing a back three.
yeah, maybe. But yeah, I don't think he's going to play that much if Tierney's going to be or in the position that sort of he plays in that left back role. But if Tierney moves to that sort of left centre back role and a sort of 5 at the back sort of thing, then he could come on, he could play. I'm interested to see what he's got, to be honest. Yeah, don't really know too much else about him really.
Wait and see.
Interested, yeah. Wait and see, pie.
No, definitely. I think. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know anything about him, but I mean, if he'll get game time, we'll see what happens. If he doesn't, which I'm expecting he won't, but we'll see what goes on, man. I mean, moving on to Ollie's most hated team, Spurs. Quite funny. They've been rejected by some Don. I didn't even know who he was. Jules Koundé. They offered some money and Davinson Sanchez to go to Sevilla in order for Jules Koundé to come this way to the Premier League. And the player rejected the move because he doesn't want to. He wants to continue playing for Sevilla because they have Champions League, and just harps back to that old Di Maria quote when he was still playing at Real Madrid, saying it's tough. It's along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but along the lines of it hurts a lot when you're playing the best you've ever played and you're linked to Spurs, and that's a genuine quote.
That is brilliant.
So.
That's hilarious.
Still so relevant.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's have a look. Let me get it up here. I don't want to butcher it. I don't know. I can't find it. But here we go. It hurts when you're always doing your best, and then you hear you might be going to Spurs. There we go. Which is fair enough. Yeah, Spurs. They're just a joke, man. It's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. But they'll probably do kind of shitty this year, I imagine. They're gone for some Japanese Don as well, and I never heard of him before. I can't remember his name, but he, no other Premier League teams have been going for him. So, unless they found an absolute hidden gem, which I highly doubt, they're probably just moving for, I don't know, just whatever. Desperate at this point to just make fans happy, I think, especially Levy. His job. He's definitely a hot seat for this upcoming season, which is actually an episode idea I've had for before we start the season next. We're going to go into our pretenders and hot seats for the 2021 season, who we think are pretenders to do well, who are tipped to do well but won't, and then hot seats, who are the managers or players that are going to get fired or sold, that kind of thing, who we think going into the season could potentially be that kind of person, which I think would be quite cool. But we're just going to finish off on my Palace. Not much really going on, to be honest. I think we've got loads of rumours. But the one I'm most interested in is potentially, obviously, Vieira signing a former player of his, Casper Dolberg from Nice, for about £25 million. Obviously, performed quite well for Denmark in the Euros. I fully expect if we get him, he'll flop, basically, is where I'm at. It always happens with some of these Euro players. They have a great major tournament, international tournament players. They have a good tournament. They sign big, and then they never really hit the heights that they were going to go on to. Obviously, James Rodriguez, you could argue is one, but obviously he is a good player. But obviously, after we saw in the 2014 World Cup, you'd think he'd have gone on to bigger and better things, right, than what he's done. Maybe Ochoa. Do you remember Ochoa, the Mexican keeper? He went to Malaga and did nothing.
He's a guy that looks a bit like what's his name? The guy from How I Met Your Mother.
Ted from How I Met Your Mother. He does. But yeah, just whatever, man. If we can get him, sign him, whatever. But we have 2 strikers already in Benzeke and Mateta, so I don't really know what's going to happen with that, we'll see. But yeah, that's it.
I'd like to see him in the Prem.
Yeah, I mean,
Belgrade.
yeah, fine. He's not someone that I'm like crazy interested in. I'd rather.
I don't think it's anyone you need, but I think it would be interesting to see him in the Prem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, we don't need him. I don't really want to sign him, to be honest. I'd rather sign someone else. Spend the 25 million on another player in a position that we need. Maybe a young centre back or something.
We have a Palace-related question. I think it's a fairly obvious one. Do you think Palace will get relegated with Vieira as coach? Zach said, I generally think they will.
I don't know, mate. To be honest, I think we have to, we got to be the guys haven't kicked a ball under Vieira yet. Do you know what I mean? We haven't seen what they're going to play like. We haven't seen, we've got new signings coming in. We're going to be using a lot of our youth that are very good. So we'll see what happens, man.
I was listening to one of the old podcasts from a couple of.
I think we could definitely. Sorry, Ollie. We could definitely go down. I think this is, if any, like Roy Hodgson guarantees you Premier League safety. We've known that before. Well, I mean, literally, yeah. We haven't been in the relegation zone since 2018. So it's one of them things. He does. To move forward as a club, you have to take risks, right? You could have stayed with Roy Hodgson. We could have pushed on for another couple of years, probably, playing shit football, not, no one enjoying it, that kind of stuff, just scraping in, not scraping by because we were finishing like 14th, 13th, 12th, 11th, around those kind of positions year in, year out. So, but I think, you have to be brave. And I do think there's a higher risk of relegation this year. I think out of any year, it's probably the most prominent. But I also think, mate, this is the most prominent time we've had that Palace could show something. We've got good players. We just hadn't been playing in a good system, and not a good system, not an entertaining system. I don't know. Just as long as I'm just banking on there's 3 worse teams than us, to be honest. If I'm being honest, would I have trusted someone like Frank Lampard with this team more than Vieira? Probably not. I don't see what Frank Lampard could do that Vieira couldn't do with this team. If anything, Frank Lampard showed us with even more money couldn't perform, better players couldn't perform. So it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, I do think that relegation could definitely be on the cards for my boys this year. But if it happens, it happens. Well, not going to get.
It is what it is.
At least you'll get entertaining Championship football.
Yeah, I'll probably go and get a season ticket as well. It'll be half the price.
Right, me, you, and Harry going to see Championship football next season.
Reading Palace.
No, and Arsenal.
Ollie has 3 teams, remember?
So give over. Giving all this again.
But yeah, no. But yeah, we're wrapping up there because we've got to go.
Yeah.
Mark. I don't know why I just said your name. Give us a thumbs up, lad. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit notification bell, follow, whatever it is on the platform when we're on it. Make sure to hit it. And check our Instagram and our Facebook. It's just Footy Fetish Podcast or Footy Fetish, and then we're on Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff. YouTube. Make sure to give us a like. Yeah, drop.
It just pops up right there.
I've just put it in.
Yeah, just pops up right there.
Yeah, in the comment section, go follow everything. You've got no excuse now. There's a link. All you got to do is press the link, and yeah, that's it. But yeah, we'll be back. Well, I guess this is coming out. Well, we'll be back this time next week, basically, for the live streamers, and then whatever it is for the people that aren't watching on the live stream. This is our last Euros episode.
Might do a quick little team of the tournament, something like that. But yeah, we're moving on to just other little random bits during the off season and just preparation for the Premier League.
Yeah,
we're gonna do our 2021-2022 predictions. We're going to do another secret shirt. I'm not sure when we're going to do that.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. Secret shirt reveals.
We're doing our fantasy league. We're doing a draft for it. So I believe that we are going to live stream our draft on Discord for everyone. And so you guys can come in and watch that and get a feel for our teams and see who's picked who's messed up, who's smashed it.
Yeah, we'll go through all the actual more specific rules of the draft a bit closer to the time, just so people know what we're doing. It's a little bit different to your standard fantasy, but we'll explain it all when we get to that.
Yeah. I'm sure people know about it. It's on the Premier League app and stuff. It's the draft one, not the normal one. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But and then like I said, I want to do my pretenders and hot seats. At some point, we'll do that probably just before the season starts, I imagine.
Jacob coming in. I'm gonna win the fantasy. Watch me. Okay, mate.
To be fair, you won the Euro one, Jacob. Jacob won the Euro one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
With
well,
Trent,
all the,
Trent
all the-
Alexander-Arnold played throughout the whole tournament in his team.
talking about the Euro Fantasy. If you are interested in seeing how we did, we have put up all the pictures and stuff on of the final league table on Instagram. It's quite easy to
come
find
last.
me, Mark, and Harry. You might have to do a little bit of scrolling to find Ollie, but
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I did very well, all things considering. I was like last with
Yeah.
about 2 games to go, and then I ended up like, what was that, like 11th?
Mid-table, yeah.
Joint 11th
Yeah.
with
although
Mark.
if we're going
so-
all things considering, you did pretty terrible to be
Yeah.
set.
I started
well,
mid-table. I started mid-table and pulled myself to the
Yeah.
top, mate.
You started start 1 game. Either way.
But yeah,
I did badly in the Euro one, but I always do quite well in the Premier League, and that's
well, we'll see.
famous
We'll
last
see.
words.
Famous
We'll
last
see.
words.
But yeah, so yeah, thanks everyone. Make sure you do all that stuff that I said about a couple seconds ago, whatever it was. Just do it all. And yeah, we will see you next week for more, maybe Euros, maybe Premier League. Who knows?
Maybe both.
Maybe both. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Haters.